Hey everyone, and welcome to a special bonus episode of On a Water Break. This week, we're celebrating the power, visibility, and inspiration of LGBTQIA plus marching arts groups around the country. We'll find out what made Chad say,
I always hug Brittany before I go out, and I didn't hug Brittany before, so if I don't, I'm going to have a bad show.
and why Whitney said,
we did chasse, double stag, chasse, double stag, low shanae, high shanae, calypso.
all this and more right here on this bonus episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts. Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Ricardo, and this is an extra special episode because there's some extra special people on this episode. And today we're honoring the amazing work being done by LGBTQIA plus Pride marching arts groups around the country. But first, joining me on the sidelines this week is, of course, my homegirl, Whitney.
Hi.
How you doing, girlfriend?
I'm good. Went paddle boarding. Yay, summer.
Look at you, being a nature gay. I love that. Now, before we get started, you need to make sure that you subscribe on your favorite podcast app, write us a review, share this with a friend or guard or band family member. If you want to be a guest, fill out the form in the link on our bio or email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So we are joined by three amazing people who have brought the marching arts to Pride all over the country and somewhat the world. Please welcome Cameron Elliott, who is the Associate Director of Charlotte Pride Bands and was recently part of the artistic leadership for the Lesbian and Gay Band Association's World Pride Marching Band. Hi, Cameron.
Hi.
How you doing, friend?
I'm good. I want to clarify real quick. The Associate Director of Charlotte Pride Band has been several years, as has Pride. So that was in 2019.
Oh, but, okay. So it's been some time.
So I'm not current, but former. We've moved on. I've got more stories since then. But yeah, just wanted to clarify that. They've got two awesome people filling in now.
Love it. Love it. We also have on the sidelines one of my dearest dears and one of my favorite humans on this earth who shared a field with me way back in the day, Chad Greife, director of the St. Louis Pride Guard. How you doing, Pappy?
Unmute yourself.
I am wonderful. You kids in this technology.
I know.
Right. I am absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. When they told me that you were going to be on this episode, I teared up just a little bit because, I love you so much. And so I'm glad to get to spend a couple minutes here chatting with you tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have one more very special lady in the house. We actually share a husband. Not really, but her husband is one of my emotional support straight men.
Okay.
Danny Young from Indy Pride Guard.
Whee! Hello. Hello, everyone.
Gorgeous.
I am so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I also wanted to provide some clarity. I am one of 3 administrators for Indy Pride Guard. Del Duke and Ty Zastro also are key to making the whole thing happen. So I'm happily here to represent all of us.
Yes, it takes a village, don't it?
It does. Yes, it does.
So, time to get to know our guest the On a Water Break way. It is time for the 32 count life story. So, friends who are joining us today, here's how we do this. You get 8 counts off the mat to tell us your life story from birth all the way up until today. You want this to be fast, fun, but there's no pressure. You all know what 32 counts on the mat sounds like. So, we're going to start this off with Cameron. Cameron, you ready to do it?
Do I have to count and talk at the same time?
You don't have to. Not at all.
All right.
Here we go. 8 off the mat.
All right. So my sister was yanked out first. I was yanked out 30 seconds later. So I'm a twin. Grew up in North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh. I'm a recovering Southern Baptist, bless my soul. And went off to do the music thing in college. Loved marching band all through high school. Loved marching band and color guard in college, and as a teacher, was a band director, whatnot, in North Carolina and Utah. I got Charlotte Pride Band in 2019, World Pride Band in 2019.
Yes. That was pretty good with the timing and the tempo. I'm here for
Not
it.
bad, not bad. And now I'm in Winchester, Virginia.
Love it. Love it. All right, Chad, you know the drill. You're going to get 8 counts off the mat, and we need to know everything about you. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
So I was born and raised here in Washington, Missouri, about an hour west of St. Louis. I then moved to Indianapolis, Indiana. I had March Cavaliers drum at Bucor, where then I did independent A guard, and then I really wanted to do open guard, and went to World. And in World, I did Zydeco and Pride of Cincinnati and Onyx. I did all the Ohio's, and then traveled around the world for a long time in Australia, and then moved back home, and now I judge guard, and I run St. Louis Pride color guard.
Yes.
That's how it works in color guard, right? If you get the choreography faster than anybody else, then you win.
Yeah. Well, as long as you get the entire phrase out there, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't matter how long it actually takes you to get there, you know? Sometimes you need that little hangover. We call it a little lanyard, you know, a little something extra for them, okay? Okay, Danny. So you've gotten the guys going before you. You got a chance to stretch and warm up just a little bit before we do your 32 counts. You ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
So I grew up in Carmel. I got to do color guard there. That's how I got introduced to color guard. I got bitten by the color guard tick. I don't say bug, it's a tick, like it just like sticks in there. So I marched a bunch of color guard, taught a bunch of color guard. Now I mostly spend my time in the pageantry area judging. I judge for BOA, I judge for IHSCGA, and then just in little pockets of the country. I really enjoy still being involved in the activity in the way that I can be with the Indy Pride Guard, so that fills a big space for me, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh, why is that so scary? The metronome is like anxiety-inducing. I can't.
You know, it always takes me to flashbacks of when I was like marching drum corps, and you would inevitably have those like dreams at night where the Dr. Beat was chasing you around the field. Like,
yeah, that's why I'm sweating. Oh my gosh. It's that. You nailed it. It's exactly what it is.
It's that. It brings back all of those crazy memories, you know. Listen, before we go to commercial, I just want to hear from the panel about your most memorable Pride performance. And I will start with mine. You know, we just had the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting a few days ago. And the actual last time that I was able to perform with a group in Pride was that long ago, because I'm always usually at the Bands of America camp in the summer. And that Pride performance was so special to me because I had so many friends that were in the club that night. I lost a really good friend of mine. And as we were warming up and getting ready to go, they had these giant posters with everybody's faces of all the victims of that shooting that night. And Pride at that moment took on, I think, the true meaning of what Pride was. It wasn't just a party. It was a way for us to say how strong and resilient we are as a community. And I remember just stepping down the street that night, just kicking my legs up just a little bit higher for those people. And so that has always stuck with me. So that's one of my favorite Pride performances. Whitney, girl, what about you?
Oh, gosh. So Heather and I actually started the Indy Pride Guard, and Chad was in it for a long time. Oh, most memorable. I don't know. I think maybe the first one, because we wrote, like, we just didn't know. Like, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. That was 2012. And it was like, honestly, it was like just a lot of like younger people that had just marched Winter Guard, like that were still literally marching and had just aged out. So it was a really talented group. There was only like 20 of us. Like it wasn't like a really big group at first, but I think that first time was probably the most memorable, just because we were just like, what are we doing? that was cool. And then it kicked off like, 12 more years of it. So I think
that parade route in Indy is the narrowest in some spots. We're like, all right, get Cute, y'all. We got to get close.
Yeah.
You know what I love about that performance is because the rest of the country was still doing like drop spins and slams in the Pride Parade and a little booty shaking here and there. And then this Indy Pride color guard comes out and it's like all these Onyx people, all these Pride of Cincinnati people, all these Juxta people. And they're doing like full on phrases across the floors, sickening 45s. And I was like, oh, so y'all just elevated the game for the rest of us. Thank you.
Was this before the
We
flag?
didn't mean to. We just did. Because we did, oh my God, Harry Styles band, One Direction. We did What Makes You Beautiful. That was, we had a tumbling pass, if you will. We did chasse, double stag, chasse, double stag, low shanae, high shanae, calypso, and we did it.
We had 6 exchange. We did back to back, throw a 6, exchange, grab each other's. It was insane.
It was insane.
But we're like, okay, sure, why not?
The jumps were so exhausting. Like, the jumps were a bad idea, so we made sure to take note. The jumps, no jump combination.
How long is the parade route?
Like a mile.
Oh,
it's not that long, like in terms of actual mileage, but it moves really slowly, and like everyone wants to see you do the thing. So you can't like, it's really hard to take more than a few steps and then not just run it again.
We learned
so it's incredibly exhausting. Yeah.
We learned a lot the first year.
You know what's funny is like here in Florida, like Pride, it is like 9,000,000 degrees outside when we do the parade. And so it's all cute when you get started. And that first, like, 30 minutes or so of the parade is nice. And then all of a sudden the sweat just doesn't stop and you get the bigger crowds of people and they're all screaming for you to do it. And they build you up and you want to do it for them. But it's like, oh my God. I remember getting to the end of the parade and literally collapsing in the grass and just having to lay there for an hour.
Yes.
Could not move. So I could not imagine doing all those jumps and stuff y'all did in that routine.
You guys, I have to tell you too that I actually marched in the Indy Pride Parade this year for the first time in like 5 years. And so I marched rifle, and the night before we're practicing the routine in a gym because it was raining, right? So I got a false sense of confidence. I was like, I'm good, still got it, like it's totally fine. And then the next day we're outside, it was so humid. I didn't feel like I had to warm up, so I didn't. I can't believe I survived, y'all. I can't believe I did it. I was so ill prepared. I have so many things I will do better for next year. But that 5-year gap was meaningful.
That
was too long.
Pride will get you, honey. She'll have you cute in the beginning of the parade, and then by the end of it, you will be questioning your life, honey.
Yeah, those first 2 reps, you're like, oh, this is okay. 10th rep later, you're like, I can't anymore. I'm taking a water break.
You're climbing into the truck.
Right? And riding on the sound system. Just so you catch a breeze from the vibration on the speaker.
That humid.
Not a pride parade without a little gay delusion in there, knowing that you can get in there and be like, this is going to be fine, isn't it?
I got this.
Not, but
The rainbow and glitter will not get you through.
Glitter. I need that on a t-shirt. Glitter will not get you through, honey.
Yeah.
Trademark it, Whitney. Trademark it right now.
It's already I'm making it on my Cricut already. Got it all.
Chad, what's one of your favorite memories from Pride?
Oh, it was the first year we did the St. Louis Pride. I had done the Indy Pride for several years. And so I was like, all right, we need to do one here in the STL and the Lou. So I started getting that going. And of course, if everybody who's directed any guard, much less a Pride guard, the first time that it's like, okay, here we go. We're walking down the street. And then to see the arch in the background, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is a lot of fun. So yeah, that was really good. I definitely know the most exhausting was when Whitney for Indy Pride thought that we should exchange equipment. And we'll put all the rifles, we'll then move to flag, and we'll had all on the back of the truck, the flags. So in the middle of the song, the rifles would have to run to grab flags and then exchange. And then we probably did about 5 or 6 reps of those. And we were like, no equipment exchange anymore. We're not changing equipment. That's done. Yeah, that was the most exhausting.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Also a learning experience.
When I was marching St. Petersburg Twirling Project, which was the first Pride Guard that I did when I moved here to Florida, we had helpers that marched along with us. And so we did a little switch out. But they actually came into the block. Like they brought us our equipment into the block. I don't know how to handle having to run up to a truck, child. I would have ran up to that truck and laid down. And that was back when I was skinny and still running around doing this all the time. There's no way I'd do it now. Karen, what's one of your favorite Pride?
I think my favorite Pride memory was my first Pride, which happened to be in 2015 when I was a Viz Tech for Carolina Gold All-Age Corps, and they had us marching in the Pride Parade that year. And it was just the first time getting to experience what a parade was like. I felt like I was such a latecomer to it. I should have been there so many years before. This was at Charlotte Pride in like 2015, or I think it was maybe 2000. Honestly, just seeing the support for the group and how much like everyone enjoys a band in a parade, no matter what parade it is, and seeing something that like I loved so much contribute to a part of me that, you know, I hadn't expected to see ever contribute to one day when I was a kid. So yeah, that was my most memorable one.
Yeah, you said something that everybody loves a band and a color guard, and it's true. Everybody else gets mad at me because I love parades. I think parades are the best exposure that any band program can do. It's just people are happy at parades. Like little kids are looking up to you. I love seeing the little kids like trying to march in step with the band and all that stuff. But child, Pride just hits different. Like, honey, the girls will make sure that they are giving you all of your flowers when you coming down that street, living your best life. It is a game changer. It's a game changer. Danny, what is your favorite Pride memory?
Yeah, I mean, you just teed it up perfectly for me because my first Pride experience was so impactful because it was, I believe in 2013 was the first year that I marched in the parade. And it was because my friend Jacob Kalimbo told me that it was just like this fun little twirl club thing. Like you do like a couple rehearsals and then we do a parade and it's super fun. We can spin saber. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a cute time. And so like, you know, I went to the rehearsals and learned the parts. I had no expectations. And like being a kid that grew up in Indiana color guard scene, like you're just so used to having to be like so close to perfect to get a reaction out of people. You know what I mean? Like there's just this like highbrow nature to color guard. And so like being that Indiana kid and then getting to be in this parade situation where people are just losing their minds. I mean, granted, back then we're throwing like sevens and stuff and doing crazy nonsense. Of course, they should be losing their minds. But like, it was just the coolest experience for color guard period I ever had. And it's the coolest one I ever have. Like, hands down, there's just no other color guard experience that I enjoy so much. And like, everyone just loves it. There's no judgment. Just show up and have fun. Like, do your best, sis. Like, have a good time. It's not about being perfect, you know.
Now, and
something really cool about that.
You tapped along one of the things that I think is also cool about Pride, because like Pride guards are made up of people that are competing with each other from January until April. You know, they're having to work on being perfect and they're trying to be the best and fight all of that stuff and fight each other. Not that we actually fight in color guard, but you know what I'm saying? And then we get to these Pride parades and you have all of these members in these rival color guard groups and they're just having a blast. It's family. It's like, it's what it's supposed to be. But we will return in just a moment after this commercial break with some more On a Water Break, the Pride episode.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year. and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Showday Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Okay, friends, let's get into it. Pride guards and bands have become a staple in pride parades, performances, and communities all over the world. With World Pride just happening in DC and band and guards coming together to take a stand, what we do is more important than ever. So let's talk to our panel about their groups and the challenges and rewards they have. So, Whitney, here is the thing. I love this conversation today because we have two other people with you that are all connected to you, and then they're also connected to me in another way. But they're connected to you because of this Pride Guard thing. Like, how did the whole Indy Pride Guard get started? And Danny and Chad, jump in and talk about what that was like getting that going.
So we started in 2012. It was Philip Whiteloff and Heather and I. We decided to make a Pride Guard. I don't remember why, what the reason was. I think we were just like, let's do it. So we threw one together and made it happen. We got tank tops and did a ditty that was maybe a little extreme, but so much fun. And we just wanted to be a space where LGBTQ people and allies could come and do color guard together. And a lot of us had marched together or taught each other, or, it was cool to invite our recent graduate students to come and do it. Whether they're in the LGBTQ community or not, a lot of them are allies. So it was just a really good time, honestly. And then we just didn't stop. And it just got bigger. I think by year 3, we had about 60 people. And then it was usually in between the 40 to 60 range. And AJ Smith and Ren, what is Ren's last name now? Married name? It's Lebed originally, but I don't know his married name now. Anyways, they are 2 members that have been in it every single year. They're the only 2, and they've done it every year for a while. Yeah.
Give it up for longevity.
Since 2012, those 2 have been in it every year. Chad was another, for a while, it was me, Heather, Chad, Ren, and AJ were in it every year. And then Chad started doing St. Louis Pride, and then Heather and I moved to Texas, so that was harder to be involved. And then we were just kind of running it from Texas, but didn't get to come all the time. And then Danny, was it last year that we passed it on to you guys, or 2 years ago?
2 years ago. This was our 3rd year.
Yeah. So we passed it on to Danny, and Del Duke had been doing it with us for a long time. And he was always great about getting the rental speakers and stuff. So that was always kind of his thing. And then just the rest of us just organized, did choreography, put the Facebook group together, got a rehearsal scheduled, and t-shirts, all that stuff. There were a lot of people involved. And then I think by maybe year 3 or 4, we had a board of directors kind of thing.
Yeah.
We had a separate smaller group of people that were more interested in organizing, because it just got to be too big for just Heather and I to do. And then Philip moved and he wasn't really involved anymore. So it's been a long time. And, obviously COVID was the only time we didn't do it. But even 2020 was when we still made a video. We just recorded parts in our backyards and stuff, and put a video together. But I'm proud that it's still a thing, and that Danny and Ty and Dell are still doing it. But yeah, I mean, again, it was just a good place to support each other and be involved. And I think it's still the only color guard in the Indy Pride Parade.
So that used to be true until
Oh,
last year.
oh,
Yeah. But we are hoping to have a conversation with the other group and see if there's a way we can combine and combine efforts. But it's still, I mean, Whitney, it still works the same way as how it was set up, right? Like there's still very separate kind of roles, and it's like Ty is choreography, teaching the parts on video, coaching the night before. He's very education and choreography forward. And then Dell is still sound system. I'm logistics and insurance and what happens if it rains? We found a gym so we could rehearse inside. Like that's kind of my little compartment. But without any of the three of us, we just couldn't do it. We are like almost at the place where it's like we might need another person to like help, keep
Growth
the
is good,
cats
though.
herded.
Growth is good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's incredible. And they're getting younger, which is awesome. The average age of the guard this year was really young. So that's encouraging.
I mean, it has to feel good thinking about how this idea that probably started in your living room has turned into something that is now like becoming a fully fledged organization that's thriving. And as Danny said, is growing to the point that there need to be more people working the admin side of it like that. And for what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's for the community by the community. Like that's got to be a great feeling.
no, it is awesome. We're definitely proud of it. I think it's really cool too because we got to the point where businesses were sponsoring us, and like I know Eric Sabach, maybe 2018 or 19, made us flags. So we got a brand new set of flags. We had, I think it was Dance Sophisticates or somebody sponsored some banners for us. So we've had like different things be sponsored. So like, and I think maybe Franklin Community High School donated some flagpoles to us. Because it's like you have to have like a supply of those things. Because like a lot of people own their own weapons, but not a lot of people own their own flags. So we had to like have those things that we had to keep in someone's garage. And for a long time, that was Rachel Harcourt. She was like the keeper of the things, and we would keep all the supplies in her garage. But like, those are things that you have to think about. It's like, okay, well, we need flags. We need, what are we going to wear? We need speakers. Like there's a lot of things that go into logistically, and you got to pay to be in the parade. And some parades are more expensive than others. Patty Simmons, may she rest in peace. I love her so much. She sponsored us to be in the parade multiple years. I know there was like one year it was like $500 to be in the parade. So you have to charge everybody a fee to be in it most of the time. Like there's so much that goes into it. But yeah, we are really proud that it's still going and it's still a thing.
And
Yeah.
I got those, still have the exact same silks from the very first year. Because I would borrow them because St. Louis was always the last weekend in June. So I would borrow the Indy flags and then take them with me. We would use them and then I would bring them back because I would come to Indy 3 or 4 times a year. And then be like, all right, here's the flags returned. And then you guys got new flags. I'm like, I'll just keep these. So good for y'all for like, I feel like so unorganized when I hear these other people. I'm like, I mean, we still get it all done. We still get the speakers and the things, but I'm just like, I'm like, I do it all now. And I just feel like I'm like, we'll figure it out. We'll get down the road. But I'm just like, oh God, should I have like a board? Like, good for y'all. I love that so much.
So, Chad, how long have you been doing the St. Louis Pride Guard?
I think if I remember correctly, it was 2015 was the first year that we did that one. And it was the same situation. I mean, I literally took it from the Whitney playbook of we're going to release the videos online, learn them on your own. We're going to have one rehearsal. The only thing that I still hate is that St. Louis parade is on a Sunday morning. Ugh, which is not fun. But we just do a rehearsal Friday night. So I took everything from that playbook and have not teeter too much from it. I tried some different things like, let's do choreography, let's do like diamond patterns. And they were like, no, that doesn't work. Don't do that. um, but everybody still really loves the whole like, oh yeah, saber rifle flag dancer. And then because then they're like, okay, I get to do what I love, which is I want saber, I want to dance, or I want to do rifle or whatever. And everybody gets that opportunity. So it's been so much fun. I have absolutely loved every single bit of it. We always go to Hooters right before we step off and have some cocktails. And I think that's the biggest thing that I love about doing Pride is it takes me back to what made me fall in love with Guard, which was just messing around in my friend's backyard before we even had flags with like bed sheets and pillow and broomsticks and just spinning and just kikiing and of course the older we got, let's have some cocktails while we spin. And it returned it back to that. The competitive Guard is great, I love it, but sometimes the competition takes you out of the artistry of it and the joy of it because you're so focused on that number and popping that good number and oh my god, I didn't make finals, so that means I'm just a bad person. And it's like, no, just go create art and have fun and do wonderful things. And that's the best part about Pride and having a good time with your friends.
As we say in the administration world of education, remember your why. Pride makes you remember your why.
Right. And my why is to be cute and do cute things.
Yes. So, Cameron, talk to me about what it's like on the band side of this whole thing, because we, all of us color guard people, we know, it's a little bit easier, I say, somewhat to just kind of, get your friends together and throw some flags and some rifles out and do a little 8 count. But band, I feel like that would be a little bit more, a little bit different commitment.
Yeah, to a degree. It depends on what your situation is, your setup. I think similar to what Chad was saying, it draws people in. It's a bit easier to get people together for a pride band than you think, a marching band, just because they enjoy the not having to be competitive about it. They can enjoy just getting together to march and create music and like share in the fun and the festivities. But of course, in color guard, you have people that often spin multiple things. Anyone can jump on rifle or flag or saber and rifle or dance or whatever, and you can kind of switch people around depending on who you have in front of you. In band, we don't always have people that play multiple instruments, and so I think the hardest part is just getting a balanced instrumentation together for what you need, and then making sure that like the music is kind of appropriate for like everyone that's there. In the guard world, you can kind of choreograph to the group that's in front of you, for better or worse. And in the band world, it's like when you're purchasing music or trying to program, unless you have someone that's composing or arranging for you, it's like buying, something pre-choreographed, right?
Okay, and I'm going to say this because I don't know that a stands tune version of a Gaga song hits the same way. The actual, like,
well, it depends on what you get. Like some arrangements are better than others. I know when I was when I directed World Pride, I actually had a custom arrangement made for us of "Bloom" by Troye Sivan, which had just come out that year, and it's like the gayest song any of us had ever heard because it's about bottoming, like. So like this is perfect for World Pride. This is what all these gays want. Especially, I mean, that experience was just crazy. We had people flying in from all over the country, and I think I came into it with my own expectations too high. I was a bit of an asshole as a director, and I'm like, if I could go back and like fix this, I would take this way less seriously and have more fun. But I was young and I didn't know any better. But bringing people together from all over the country at the time, I think was one of my favorite aspects of it. Just getting to meet people that were also involved in other pride bands that wanted to come and march in the parade. I may add this in one of my favorite pride memories from the earlier segment of when we were in lineup for World Pride. The Fab Five walked right past us, like maybe 3 feet in front of me. And like by the time I realized it, they already walked past. I got their attention enough to like wave, but I was like, it's real. It was a lot of fun. So
I'm gonna pull focus for just a minute on the celebrity end of that. I
Go
got to
for it.
do the Hollywood Pride Parade years and years and years ago. And my hero, Indy from Bravo, was like in front of us. And I swear to God, he is such a zaddy. He is such a zaddy. I performed so hard because that man was just kept looking back at me. Whew, Lord, today. So, speaking of World Pride, how many members did you guys have this year, Cameron?
I'm not sure how many they had this year or if they had an LGBT group in there. One thing that was cool that I did see in World Pride for around this time was the Warped Tour just came through DC about the same time as Pride, and they called in one of the bands on stage called in the DC's different drummers, like get up on stage with them during the Warped Tour performance, which is DC's Pride band. And so they had they had a color guard up there. They had the marching band up there, like on stage. Who is this group? I feel like I just looked this up and I'm already forgetting. So like 5 seconds from now, I'm going to remember. I apologize for the intrusion when that happens.
Yeah, we definitely need that for a news segment. So, friends, tell me what are some of the biggest rewards about Pride groups? Obviously, the camaraderie, the friendships. I told this story last year when we were doing our Pride episode of when I moved to Florida. I literally moved here and did not know anyone. And the only person that I had some type of relationship with was Chuck Henson, who used to be the voice of VOA. And he was in a group here called the St. Petersburg Twirling Project. And I reached out to him and he's like, oh yeah, come spin with us. And I started getting together every Sunday with this group of older gay men, spinning my rifle in a park in St. Petersburg. And that's how I made friends. And I live in St. Pete now because of them. And, you know, it gave me a safe space because I was able to do the thing that I love doing with people who understood that whole thing and they loved doing it too. And I feel like that was my biggest reward. What did you guys think that some of the rewards are for your particular groups?
I personally just love kind of taking the piss on just basic color guard culture. I feel like sometimes drag queens do that, you know, where you're like, we're kind of making fun of reality, and I just like we just make jokes like, you know, if you drop or whatever, it's be like, like that was not box 5, girl, you know, and just kind of
I
giving each
so
other a hard time
agree.
for that.
I so agree.
It's just
That's
like,
why I
just
fell in love with
relax.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Just have
There's no
fun.
equipment judge out there. Even
Right.
if you do drop, they're still going to love you. Or if you catch a half, they don't care.
They don't
They're
know.
drunk in
They
the
don't know.
parade. They're going to just have a great time. Just
If
perform.
you throw a triple instead of a quad, no one cares.
They're
No
not
one
counting your
It's
cares.
fine.
rotations. They
No,
don't
they are
care.
not, honey. No one's releasing together anyway. It does not matter.
Right.
Just saying.
They like when you throw it in the air, and they like when you shake your butt.
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
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 Unless
One
you're
of my favorite things I also loved was like we would all bring our equipment to the actual Pride festivities and lay out the blankets, and then we jackass challenge each other, like, all right, 7, catch behind your back, and just like, oh, we should not be doing some of these stunts after how much we had to drink, but we're like, sure, I've got no fear, I'll do this, and so you start doing this stuff, but it's like, oh no, these are people who've like trained by the top people in the world and have competed at high velocity that we can totally do this, and it doesn't matter whether you're 22 or 46. Go out there and you can still pop that stuff out there. You still got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people would come up to us at the festival and be like, "Oh, you guys were in the parade. You were so awesome!" Like that part of it is cool too. That you still get like random people, not color guard people, like actual random people that are like, "Oh, we saw you, yay!"
And it is a bit of a celebrity factor thing that happens because everybody remembers the color guard people. Like, you know, there are other people that are just in the parade and it's like whatever. And the band, you know what I'm saying? But like they recognize you because you're wearing the shirt. They're like, "Oh my God, I saw that. That was great," you know? And
a majority of it's like, how many people go up to the Bank of America float and be like, "You guys were amazing. We really loved you. You were great." It's just like, who cares?
And for the,
right.
you know, it's nice. It's nice too to just be able to perform for like for the gays. At least in the band world, it's I don't know if this carries over in the Pride Guards, but in the Pride bands, most of them are year-round organizations.
I mean, let's be for real. When color guards are performing, we're usually performing for the gays anyway. So,
I mean, fair.
But
the band is performing year-round, and so we get a mixed crowd at our concert band performances. So getting to do the marching experience, which brings us back to our roots, and do it in front of the people that really get why we exist, I think makes it that much better and that much more rewarding.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we will finish this conversation when we come back in just a few minutes to On a Water Break.
Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Okay, everyone, it's time for 60-second tech block. 60-second tech block. 60-second tech block! This is the segment where one of our hosts or guest clinician is put on the spot to deliver a non-stop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics that they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, let's see. You know what, Cameron? I think that I want to hear from you.
All right.
So, Cameron, you said that your best topics were how you perform when the hottie is walking by, maintaining proper technique while doing Pride, and serving face for several miles. Okay, panel, what are you guys voting on?
I'm definitely going to go for the when the hottie is walking by, because you want to be cute.
I think that'll be the most entertaining.
I definitely agree with that. Danny, you good with that?
I'm here for any of these topics, but I was here to get the sermon on face because there's technically just always hot people walking around. So, you just got to blur out the hotties. You know what I mean? Just gotta stay focused. Do your thing.
Okay, well.
No, I still want to hear about the hottie walking by for the entertainment value. I agree with you. Wait.
I think we're going to go with that. We're going to do how you perform when the hottie is walking by. Danny, do you have your phone geared up to 60 seconds for us?
I do.
Okay, Cameron, this is all you, my friend. You are going to give us a masterclass in technique on how we are going to perform when the hottie is walking by. Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Danny, it's on you.
All right, ready in 3, 1.
So when the hottie's walking by, the first thing you need to do is make that hottie stop walking. If they keep walking, they're not going to see you. They're going to miss you, and the opportunity's passed. You're going to end up on Craigslist missed opportunities after that. Okay, so you have to start with something that's flamboyant and the full phrase, the full extension. I'm a fan of Legally Blonde, so I think of bend and snap. You don't want a half-assed bend and snap. You want like a full like extension and then come up, you know?
Oh,
You
yes.
want
Yep.
full
You got 20 seconds left.
Woods experience. Okay, so something big and grand that's going to catch their attention, and then you got to make it a little seductive. So, are you
15
gyrating
seconds
in the
left.
right places? Are the hips loose? Are the shoulders moving? Are you licking your lips a little bit? Like, what are you doing to get them to say, "Ooh, I want a piece of that Happy Meal right in front of me"?
3,
Right.
2,
So,
1.
bodies
That's a
walking
minute.
by, make them stop.
Wow. I feel very informed about this
incredible.
now.
Absolutely incredible.
I'm so informed.
All of my flabbers are gasted right now because that was,
That needs to be
in
taught to all
essence,
guards ever, forever and ever.
Now accepting like clinician booking with all the flag guards around the country.
absolutely. And you know what's funny is I do use that analogy a lot when I'm teaching the kids, like especially when we're doing across the floors to get them to perform. I'm like, imagine that person that you think is just the hottest person in the world. They're on the other side of the room. How are you going to walk over to them? And that honestly brings kids out of their shell. And I think that, my experience in doing pride parades when I saw, before I was married, okay, when I saw the hottie walking down the street, I would do those things, Cameron. And I'm so glad that you explained it technically to us. So,
Well, the best part was now that you have their attention, give them something to look at.
Right. We could flip it around and say, what if you're the hottie walking down the street in the Pride Guard? How do the other people get you to stop and stare?
okay, exactly. Well, that was a solid 60-second tech block. Hopefully, someone out there just got the tech advice that they didn't know they needed. I know I did, child. But now it's time to switch things up.
I don't think anyone needed that.
We all needed it. But it's time for everyone's favorite. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Okay, this is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit or maybe a lot. This is your chance to rant about something in the marching arts that just does not make sense. Maybe it's a tradition that needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this yet? Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So, who's got something they need to get off their chest? Sister Whitney, I know you got some what are we doing, honey.
Can you come back to me? I actually don't have anything negative to say for once.
Oh, write this
I got you,
down.
girl.
Listeners, write this down. On this date, Whitney Stone says that she has nothing negative to say. Okay, put it in the minutes, put it in the gay agenda. All
Well,
right.
I got something for water. What are we doing?
Okay, come
The
on, baby.
Superstition. Oh my God. I didn't throw this very last toss before I went onto the floor. I always hug Brittany before I go out, and I didn't hug Brittany before. So if I don't, I'm going to have a bad show. That's what that means. Girl, that has nothing to do with it. Get that out your head right now. Stop being so damn superstitious. Just trust your technique. Trust the training and go out there and have a good time. Knock it off. Just calm down. So I want that to go. But what I wish they would do, I want lights. I want them to shut off the lights in UD Arena. I want LEDs. I want a light show. I want I need to pull focus to that back corner. Girl, there's a spotlight. Oh, okay. And then want to change. We've got sound. We got all that. I want lights. And then
You
I
want
want to see
full
those lights
theatrical
reflecting off
production.
some nice LeMay. Yes, I want the full theatrical expression. Absolutely. I know it'll probably be difficult to program all those lights, but we can work this out. Just, press play in a computer format with a light board and it'll be fine. I would
You
love
got
that.
rotations under a spotlight.
Ask the blast people about that. They'll be fine.
Okay, I have spun on stage before with stage lights in my face, and I'm just going to say that whereas it seems like it's a good idea, it is probably the scariest thing in the world because you really do have to trust your technique, child, because the minute you open
Trust
up
your
those
technique.
hands, honey, it is a prayer and a Hail Mary. And you know what? Here we go. So speaking of the superstitions, listen, there's one superstition because I am Southern, y'all. I know that y'all don't believe this, but the walking through the same door, I do that anyway in my normal life. I don't split poles. And so I do want to keep that superstition just because I know that my grandmother would roll over in her grave if we were splitting poles places. So,
all right, you're allowed to have that one. There you
that's
go.
the only one
That's
I
my
want to
least
keep.
favorite one, actually. That's my least favorite. Sorry, I love you.
I
I
grab people when we're
literally
walking down
physically
the street.
cannot. Yeah. I physically cannot split the pole when I'm walking with Jeff, and we walk all the time.
Yeah.
I literally physically can't do it. But I'm not gonna like hold up my show. I'm just gonna not split the pole on my way to where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Right.
different kind of superstition, in my
Right.
opinion.
Oh, I have physically grabbed Matthew and pulled him around a pole when we were just walking like out downtown somewhere. I can't do it. I just, no, I can't do it.
Well, I would always I carried over Rosie's tradition of the Altoids before a performance and hand those out, your performance bills. And then the one time I forgot to get Altoids before a show, the guard was like beside themselves. They're like, that's it. We might as well just fold. Let's just go home. Let's just don't even perform. I'm like, girl, all right, let's calm down a little bit.
We did it with Tic Tacs and the kids. If I forgot the Tic Tacs in
Yeah,
the car or whatever, they were just like, we had
they're
a
done.
bad show because of you. I'm like, no, girl, you had a bad show because your hands were bad. That's why.
Right.
Do not put that on me. Cameron, what are we doing?
So if we're still going to have like gendered corps and groups out in the world, Chad, no offense, I know the Cavaliers runs deep, but like, why haven't we had like the all-female corps since like the 70s or 80s? Where's our like all non-binary corps? Where's our all transgender corps? Like, if we're gonna keep the Cavaliers around, be like, all right, two can play that game. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that. Like, so my trans friends that I know are like some of the most like creative, like go-getters that I know, and to see a corps of like performers full of that energy and like that creativity, like, come on, the male thing is tired.
Not tired, honey. I have to agree. I remember back in the day when we did have some all-girl corps, and they were sickening. Like, they were sickening. And I also remember the Phantom Regiment when the Phantomettes were all girls. I love that too. That was kind of my jam. So you know what? I'm going to get on board with this one. Yeah, let's do that.
I do want to point something out in this conversation, though, that I think is important, just as when I'm thinking about the dynamics of this. A lot of all-male drum corps have been propped up because of generations of alumni support. And if you think even back in the day, 30, 40, 50 years, it would have been a lot more difficult for women to generate that kind of ongoing generational wealth support just because of how socioeconomics work and home economics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't think it's because anyone doesn't want that.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, right. So I
But I
think we
will
have
say,
to,
the most entertaining thing is getting on the alumni Facebook groups because, where's my popcorn?
I
Oh, it's crazy.
accepted the Madison Scouts just finally becoming co-ed, and we're in what year 3 or 4 of that now.
I think it's year 4, right? 4 or 5 since COVID. So yeah,
The majority of the guards I marched were co-ed, and I loved marching co-ed. There's something about the energy, with your best Judy, that it was fun. I loved it.
see, I've had experience on both ends of it. I mean, the first year I marched drum corps, I was the only boy in the color guard, and then the next year I was the only girl in an all boy color guard. I have seen both sides of it, and my personal feelings behind it was I had fun in both of those experiences, but it was great for me not seeing males represented in the color guard activity, like in my home state of Mississippi, to go in an organization with 30 something other guys doing color guard. Like, that was just a cool dynamic to me. But I am not opposed to everybody having their own flavor and having their own space to be able to do the same thing, because it is worthwhile and it is 2025, y'all. Let's get it together. We could do this. We could
Well,
make
and piggybacking that with that, especially with Pride and connecting that to Pride, that was what made me come out. Like after going to Cavalier auditions, I was still in the closet. The second I got back from Cavalier auditions, I'm like, no, no, no. These are my people. This is my tribe. This is where I belong. And it really made me feel like, oh, I'm not alone in this small town in Missouri, that there are other people all throughout the country that are going through the same struggles that I'm going through. So I think that's the whole point of Pride. And that's where I kind of like where Pride is even going now, where, yeah, of course, it started off as gay Pride for gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgender. But I feel like more even heterosexuals are enjoying going to Pride, just about being proud of who you are, whatever that might be. Love who you want to love, be who you want to be with. And then just that's why it's just Pride.
Preach.
And of course, there's the history.
Preach. Preach. Danny, what are we doing?
You know, I parsed through a few ideas in my head about this today. And I decided on the one that I wanted to talk about, which for me is I've spent a lot of time in front of lots of what I would call developmental color guards in the last few winters as a judge. And so I have just seen much incredible work that people are doing, on a sheet that none of us maybe have ever even seen before. Like there's just an unimaginable amount of color guards in Indiana that are just scrapping to try and get through a season. And the thing that I don't understand is why we don't see more design innovation in those lower groups. Like, I don't understand why. I just don't understand how many times we're going to watch, like, I'm not calling anybody out specifically, right? But like a motif on a parade, a motif on a rainbow. Maybe there's a motif on clowns, and there's always a crazy person show. There's normally two of those. There's a germ show, a disease show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. What are we doing? Because those kids still deserve to have an experience that makes them feel cool. Like, do you think these 17-year-old kids, even though they're in like quadruple AAAAF, like, they still deserve to have an experience that makes them feel like their work is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wish challenge our friends in the space. Like, it's okay to get creative down there. You don't have to do. I also understand those programs are probably feeder programs that are operating with leftovers from other things. So I get that. I get that part.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I still think you can be innovative on a budget.
Amen. Amen.
All I got.
So I am just going to say this, okay? As someone who lives in Florida, where 11 and a half out of 12 months of the year, it is hotter than the devil's ass crack. What are we doing still having pride parades in the month of June? Can we push it to and just do our own thing in January when it's a comfortable 50 degrees outside and I don't have to
We could rotate Pride Month. You know what I
we
mean?
should. We should.
Yeah.
We should do Pride Month in the north.
It doesn't have to be in June.
Okay, right. So we should do it in the north in June when it's cute to be outside in the summertime. But then here in the south, we need to do it in the winter when it's comfortable to be outside. I'm going to put up a petition for that. So, yeah.
So all we have to do to get that done is just we'll go to New York to the Stonewall Inn in a nice crisp November day, and then we'll throw stones and we'll start a riot again, and we'll just start a new tradition.
I have it. Here I come. It's Jeremy. I'm jumping. You want this cute little pride around the country? I'm here for it. If you all can get engaged to come to a cute little Philadelphia for our fest in the fall, cute little fall festival, right? In the fall, have that come out. In 2026, come to Philadelphia in June and have a cute little time because it's going to be 2026 and it's going to be the 250th birthday and all those kinds of things. I agree. Understand is hot in those other parts of the world. However, it's June, darling, and it's Pride Month, so I don't know what to tell you. Get over it. Get into Pride Month. It's June. And on that,
Papa came and stole your joy.
I'm going to jump on Ricardo's side for a moment. June can still be Pride Month, but this way you extend Pride Month throughout the year.
Right.
Any month, Pride Month. right?
Absolutely.
The gays will go away.
Love that. They will love that. Let's do it.
Yep.
Would
Well, it's
also make
also it's nice to wear your really short booty shorts and a crop top in June.
Girl, we can do that in Florida in January.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
I just moved from Miami. I can only imagine.
All right, we got that off our chest. So now let's bring some positive energy into the room. Welcome to Gush and Go. This is your chance to shout out something awesome that's happening in your life, marching arts related or not. Maybe you're excited about a performance, a student success, a big life event, or just something cool you want to brag about. No negativity here, Whitney. Just pure, unfiltered hype. So who's got something to gush about? Danny, I'm going to start with you.
How did you know that I had something to gush about?
Hey, call it intuition.
Intuition. Yeah. So I actually have two things. So the first is that a good friend of mine named Sarah Field and are directing the color guard for the MFA Honor Band, the Bands of America Honor Band in the Rose Bowl parade for the coming new year. So we're very excited about it. Jeff and were on staff at that parade 4 years ago, last time we did it, and it was a wonderful time. And this time there's no COVID or minimal amount, whatever. So it's going to be really cool. We're still accepting applications for color guard students. So if you are a color guard student who would be interested, you need to talk to your band director or your color guard director, have them nominate you on the Music for All website. So that's one. And then the other one that I'm going to be teaching with my good friend Michael O'Neill at the TBA Student Summit, sponsored by Bands of America, Ultimate Drill Book in Sassy. That's on July 26th in San Antonio, and that registration is still open. You go through TBA for that. But we're excited. This is the first time for the color guard for that.
Nice. Congratulations.
Event.
Cool
Thank
deal.
you. Thank you for letting me gush.
Oh, of course. Whitney, what you gushing and going about, girl?
Hi. I'm living in this house for about 2 more weeks, and then we are moving to Houston. I never thought I would move to Houston, but here we are. I will have lived in Austin for almost exactly 10 years, like a week short of 10 years. And I'm going to be the new color guard director at Bridgeland High School.
Get it. So proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Cameron, what are you gushing and going about?
Similar to Whitney, I also have just moved. I mentioned I was in Winchester, Virginia now. I just got my first college professor job at Shenandoah Conservatory, so I'm teaching music education.
Nice. Congratulations.
I'm excited.
Everybody's just got such great things going on. Pappy, what are you gushing and going
I love
about?
that you still call me Pappy. So many people are like, well, who's Pappy? I was the oldest person in the Cavaliers color guard because my birthday is one day after the cutoff. So my nickname was Pappy.
Pappy.
So, no, I just found out I'm pregnant. So, no, I just always wanted to say that.
I know you've been trying.
For years and years, girl. No, I just opened up my 6th company. So I now have a boutique hotel, a boutique hotel, a bar arcade. We're literally just opening up laser tag at the bar arcade, and I have a construction company, a holding company, and with all my properties on it, and now we just are opening up a med spa. So I'm learning all sorts of wonderful things about red light therapy and cryotherapy and all sorts of wonderful things. And I leave for Scotland in 2 days.
Honey, my sister is a mogul, okay? A mogul.
What?
I can't even. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and gush. I am very excited because I am about to start packing my bags to get ready for the Bands of America summer camp. This is year 22, 23. 23. This is year 23 for me. So I am super excited about that. And then I get to go on the road with the Academy for a while and get to see my babies. It's been a few days since I've been with them, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited for everybody to see the show because it's going to be good. It's good.
Can you talk? Are you allowed? Have they announced it?
Yeah, we announced it. It's called London Fog. And it's basically It's set in Victorian England, and it's what happens in the fog that covers the city of London. Like, you never know is the fog good? Is the fog bad? Like, do you embrace the fog? It's just gonna be fun, honey, with some pretty colors and some cute twirls.
I love those shows.
It's called Gush and Go, not Gush and
Thank
Stay.
you.
Let's go.
Well, thank you to my good sister Whitney for joining me for this bonus Pride episode, and to our amazing, amazing guests, Danny, Cameron, and Chad, or Pappy. Hey, where can folks follow your groups and yourselves on social media, Danny?
So I'm actually off social media because I need to heal my brain because I started using it obviously as a teenager. So I'm completely off of social right now. I get back on at some point in my life, but if you need me, ask Whitney or anyone on this podcast knows how to get hold of me.
Yeah. Cameron, what about you?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Folks can find me there, Cameron Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's, or I won't pop up. Charlotte Pride Band, for anyone in that area that's interested, should be on Facebook and Instagram as well. If you're in the Raleigh area of North Carolina, the Triangle Pride Band is there. Alex Alberti's fantastic. And then I think when I did World Pride, it was the Lesbian Gay Bands LGBT organization, but I think it's now Pride Bands Alliance is the name of the group that oversees all that, and they should also have full socials.
I think it's pridebandalliance.org, I believe, is the thing for that. Business Mogul, how can people check you out?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Chad Greife. And then, if you're ever in the St. Louis area and you're looking for a cute place to stay, riversirenshotel.com, and a nice little barcade called The Alley. That's at washmoalley.com. And if you want some nice spa treatment, it's called The Collective, River Sirens Collective. So if you're looking for a nice little staycation, we're right off the Amtrak, so you can have a nice little staycation. Or if you're anywhere in the Midwest, come check us out. Oh, and St. Louis Pride Color Guard. If you're a color guard person in the St. Louis area, we usually have about 100 people in our guard. So come join us.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you again to our wonderful guests. But one more thing, subscribe, rate, and review us. Send us a video or an email if you want to be featured on the show. And you can follow us at On a Water Break Podcast. So we'll see you next time on a Water Break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reed. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.